Yeah, they go for it on in this one. And we talk about the complexities of these two worlds colliding and coming together. And
Jocko, thank you so much to chat for the time to chat. I really appreciate this.
hey, Steve, thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for talking to me.
I mean, honestly, how can you not be excited about the return of Little House on the Prairie? I mean, this is an iconic series, and I mean that truly is a use of the word here.
Yeah, I absolutely. It is not an overstatement. That show has touched so many lives, um, so many generations. It's had this amazing resurgence a couple of years ago, I think, on Peacock, and people just love it. And I've been able to obviously, experience this and talk to people and at the airports in Canada, telling the security there as I'm going through customs, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm working. What are you working on? I'm filming. What are you filming? Little House on the Prairie. And I remember this guy looked up and stared at me and said, and with a serious face, my mom loved those books. And I was just, he goes, why? And it made the rest of my process going through customs quite smooth. But the one thing I didn't know about were the books. I just was familiar with the show. I didn't realize that it was a true story until after I booked the role. It was very ignorant of me, but um, it's been quite a journey in learning about Dr. Tann and the story. And like I said, people are just very, very excited about it.
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, what I've seen is great. It really is phenomenal. And it like I think we've got a story here that deserves to be told again.
Yeah.
And it does so well. But in your mind, like we said, this isn't overstating it to call it an iconic series. But what is the legacy of Little House on the Prairie, and what was it about it that connected so deeply with people?
Well, I think it started with the books.
Yeah.
Uh, During the Great Depression, I think, is when Laura Ingalls um, wrote these books, and people were looking for hope and inspiration and love, and it did so well and touched lives for decades. And so much so that there was a family that came along called the Friendlies, and they created the first series. And as you mentioned, gosh, did that do so well? And I think that keeping the family theme going throughout both of these series and that book really means a lot to people. And I don't know. I don't know what quite I expected out of this new series. I thought it was going to feel a little similar when I just first heard that it was being redone to the first one. And this is not your mom and dad's Little House on the Prairie. This is something special. This is not a reboot of the series, and that's what some fans are like, "Oh my gosh, they can never replace this," and it's not trying to replace it at all. Just add this to the canon if you're a fan of Little House and the stories. But they're focused a little more on the books, which is great that we get to tell Dr. Tan's story, who wasn't in the original series, but definitely there in the books, and yeah, yeah, I think people are in for a great surprise.
Well, I mean, I love Dr. Tan. Just seeing you on screen as Dr. Tan, I think it works so well in this story.
Yeah.
This feel and I would love to know from you what excited you about stepping into that particular role, because you're right, he's not in the original series, but it really is a fantastic character.
Yeah, what excited me the most, and again, I didn't know this until after I booked the role, but that surreal person,
Mm.
and the idea that there was a black man just a couple of years after slavery and after the Civil War, who was such a pioneer in his time, um, prolific in medicine, um, owned many properties, was wealthy, lived in Philadelphia, and had the opportunity to move west. He saved, in real life, folks, he saved the lives of the Ingalls family. Without Dr. Tan, there would be no Little House on the Prairie. They all got malaria, and he saved them. And Laura Ingalls writes about this in the book. he delivered baby Caroline. And so that has been just so exciting for me. Also, if you Google him, you'll see his tombstone, the real life Dr. Tann's tombstone, there in Kansas. And on the tombstone, it says he saved the lives of the Ingalls family. So to see how beloved this black man was in the 1800s, just like so cool. And it's cool for me, but I think it's going to be cool for everybody to see and experience. Of course, there'll be like the woke police who'll see him and be like, "Oh, the DI, they're adding the black characters." But if you're a true fan of the books, you'll know that he existed. So it excites me talking about it, and I'm still learning more about him after shooting the first season. It's just been great.
Well, I honestly, that's one of the things that I love most about this character is, like you said, that he's a real person.
Yeah.
And this is real history that we're finally honoring and telling this story as well.
Mhm.
The original series is wonderful. It's its own thing, but this one does have its own voice,
Yeah.
and in as well. And even the fact I love that there's a fascinating more conversation about the Osage people as well in
Mhm.
this series as well. That I don't think that was much in the original series either. I think there's something new as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure how much it was in the original series, but yeah, they go for it on in this one. And we talk about the complexities of these two worlds colliding and coming together. And I wouldn't even say colliding, everybody puts their best efforts into working together and building this community together, the Osage and the people who've moved out west, the Americans who've moved out west. And I think they've done an amazing job with it. Miguan and Alyssa and Ren, the family, were just incredible in the amount of work that they put in to learn the language. I forget that they had extra homework sometimes. I'd be like, "Hey, Miguel, let's go grab a beer at the local bar in Winnipeg." He's like, I gotta learn a new language tonight on top of learning or memorizing my lines. It's like, oh my gosh. So everybody's work that they put into it just blew me away. It's an incredible cast. They done a great job.
Well, it does. It feels a little more authentic in some ways, and I think is not the other one wasn't, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say, a little
No,
more
yeah, it
true to
does.
the
It's
story.
very cinematic
Yeah.
and beautiful. It feels like a movie every episode. I just remember like giggling to myself as I'm watching this. I'm like, I can't believe this is real. This is great. And the music as well. As soon as I book this role, I find out that I'm gonna have to take horse riding lessons, which naturally that makes sense. And then I had to take singing lessons and dancing lessons. And there was a scene that I had to sing in that eventually got cut. But it was just at this age and at this stage in my career to still be learning and
Mm.
doing things. It's just been a great experience. It's a very musical show. That's what surprised me too. I'm not sure how musical the first series was, but the family here now is always singing and always dancing. And Luke Bracey had to learn to play the fiddle and had to learn the jigs and all these dances, and we had to learn to dance that we do all together. It was just great. It feels really good.
That's actually absolutely true. Like I don't remember the series that much in terms
Yeah.
of especially with his relationship with music, but
Mhm.
here it's just there. Like it's part
Yeah.
of the
Oh yeah.
the fabric of this
Absolutely.
show in
Yeah.
such a unique way.
Yeah. 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 It's something, and I didn't know how that was going to play as I'm reading it. Shout out to Rebecca Sonnenschein, our showrunner, who, God, she just loved the books
Mm.
very, very much. And she made a pitch for that job, and they were smart to hire her because she was just fantastic. She's a joy to work with. And the way she weaved the music into the script, um, and then to see it was like, oh wow, like, it just works.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would love to ask you about home.
yeah,
Certainly, as the series opens, we see them building a home, but this is about them establishing home, and I was wondering, in your mind, what does it mean to build a home? What does that take? And do you think it's different than it would have been portrayed in the original show?
Well, when I think of building a home, I think of unity, trust, and love when it comes to family, um, and passion, commitment. Um, all of these things. I can't quite remember what the question was, but I would say that you definitely feel all of those things throughout this series, um, especially when it comes to commitment.
Mm.
I love how Caroline just listens to Charles through, despite oftentimes things go so wrong. And you'll see throughout the series, she has every reason to give up on this idea of building a home here in this new place. Um, but you'll find that she commits and he commits to taking care of his family, and it's so much love. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah. Yeah, you can sense that. Just every character is
Yeah.
they care for one another.
Yeah.
Um, um, Pivoting slightly, I thought I'd ask you about playing a doctor because you're
Yeah.
back playing a doctor.
Yes.
Because was it New Amsterdam was
Yeah.
where, yep, you played a doctor in that, and here you are in Little House.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a different world, but
Yeah.
I was wondering about your experience of holding those things in tension.
Yeah, I find that there's some parallels between the characters I played. Dr. Reynolds on New Amsterdam was had an incredible bedside manner. Was very passionate about his craft and very good at his craft. And boy, those three things are definitely present in Dr. George Tann as well. Beloved, um, and I don't know. There might be something said about why I ended up being blessed to play those two characters because I see a lot of both of them in me. Um, but it was very cool to be playing a character on New Amsterdam, which is very modern and present. I mean, we filmed through the pandemic and we wrote a story about the pandemic on the thing. It was very modern. And then to jump back in time and do things differently. There's clearly a
Just
lot of
slightly.
things we didn't have. And you just kind of I just feel like back then you just kind of go for it and you just figure it out. As a doctor, you just figure it out. There's just so many things that we haven't experienced yet, including malaria. They don't even know what the hell it is. He didn't know what it was when he saved the family. They called it intermittent fever, which was a lot like COVID in the beginning. We didn't know what is this. So that's what I found about playing a doctor back then. It's just you kind of you kind of gotta figure it out, you know?
I'm glad you said that because I hadn't made that connection. You're right. The malaria outbreak, this idea of with the disease, not knowing what it was,
Yeah.
is not that different from what we just went through. And like you said, like you dealt with in New Amsterdam, that's an interesting parallel. I
Yeah,
hadn't connected those dots.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Uh, Honestly, Jocko, I truly mean this. The show is fantastic, and I love your performance. I love your character, but just across the board, it looks great. It takes itself. It goes places. It goes
Yeah,
places that I didn't expect it would be willing to go. What do you hope audiences take away when they return to Little House?
yeah. Well, I hope that first and foremost that there's a small faction of people who are like, you can't place that the original show, and that is definitely not the intention here. I encourage them to take it in, let it in, and enjoy. And they'll find quickly that it's its own thing. And I also hope that it brings people together in this time. I think this is very timely. I think we need to remember family and we need to sit around because I mean, God knows we are glued, myself included. I'm guilty to this, a phone. Um, And if you want to watch it on your phone, you could watch it on your phone as well. But I think this is the type of show where you can gather family and friends and just sit and just look at this world through the eyes of Laura Ingalls. I mean, Alice is just incredible on the show. The show is Sky, play the daughters, and they really surprised me at the maturity, their talent, the way they carry the show is just really, really incredible. But I think it's going to feel really good to people when they tune in, and I hope everybody does.
Me too. Me too. I really do. And like you said, this is its own thing, and I think that's to its benefit. I just let there's so much value in this particular series.
Yeah.
And it's such a joy to talk with you about it. Thank you so much, Jocko,
Thank
for your
you.
time. I really
My pleasure.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll see
Thank
you next
you.
time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For season 2 and beyond.
Yeah, let's go.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye bye.